Learning English through real-life stories is one of the best things you can do. Why? Because you get natural expressions, interesting moments, and you actually remember what you learn. If you like this kind of learning, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and follow along. We've got a story every single day, and you won't want to miss any of them. He had been dreaming of Morocco for months. Not just the markets, the food, or the colorful streets, but the desert, the endless sand, the camels, the feeling of riding into the horizon like a scene from a movie. And now it was finally happening. He booked a desert tour in Merzouga, a small town near the edge of the Sahara. Everything about it felt surreal. The sky was wide and deep, the sand was golden, and the camels stood in a slow-moving line, chewing and blinking like wise old creatures. The guide handed him a scarf and helped him tie it around his head to block the sun and sand. He felt like a traveler from another time. One by one, people in the group climbed onto their camels. A man called out names, directed each person to an animal, and gave a few instructions in a mix of English and French. It all felt like a blur. There were too many voices, a little confusion, and a lot of excitement. When it was his turn, someone pointed to a camel and said, "This one. Climb." He followed the instructions, got on the camel, and waited. The animal stood up slowly, first the back legs, then the front. He wobbled but managed to stay on. He held onto the handle, smiled to himself, and looked ahead. And then his camel started walking. But instead of following the others toward the dunes, his camel turned, calmly, confidently, and started walking the other way. Not toward the desert, but toward a low wall, some parked cars, and eventually the town. At first, he thought maybe this was just how it started. Maybe they would loop around. Maybe his camel was just taking a different path. But within a minute, he realized something was off. The rest of the group was heading into the open desert. The line of camels looked like a moving train across the sand. And he was riding alone away from them, deeper into the village. He called out, unsure of what to say. "Hello? Am I going the right way?" No answer. A few kids playing nearby saw him pass and laughed. One of them shouted something in Arabic and waved. He waved back awkwardly, still bouncing up and down on the camel. It was a strange feeling. Sitting high above everything, moving slowly through narrow streets, not knowing where he was going. The camel seemed very sure of itself. It walked with purpose, occasionally making a soft grunting sound. Eventually, a man on a motorbike pulled up next to him. He wore sunglasses and had a wide grin. "You are lost," the man said with a laugh. He nodded. "I think maybe yes." The man said something into a walkie-talkie, then motioned for the camel to stop. To his surprise, the animal stopped without hesitation. A few minutes later, one of the desert guides came running, slightly out of breath, laughing as he arrived. "You took the camel for a solo tour," the guide said, helping him down. Apparently, he had mounted the wrong camel, one that belonged to someone else. It wasn't part of the tour group. It had simply wandered close when the others were being prepared, and he had unknowingly picked it. Back at the starting point, the group had already left, but the guide made arrangements for him to catch up. He got on a different camel this time, one definitely connected to the tour, and soon he was heading toward the dunes like he had imagined. The desert was breathtaking, quiet, endless, and soft under the setting sun. But even as he watched the colors change and felt the wind against his scarf, he couldn't stop smiling about what had happened. Later that night, over mint tea and tagine under a wide starry sky, the guide retold the story to the whole group. Everyone laughed, and someone even joked about giving him the title of Solo Camel Rider of the Year. He laughed too. Not just because of the story, but because he realized something. Getting lost, making mistakes, riding the wrong camel. These were the real adventures. These were the moments he'd remember. And as he lay down that night in a desert tent, wrapped in blankets and surrounded by silence, he felt proud. Not just for surviving a travel mishap, but for being part of something funny, strange, and unforgettable. He had gone to Morocco to see the desert, but now he could say he'd taken a very unexpected route there. Did you enjoy that story? Without even realizing it, you picked up expressions, grammar, and vocabulary that people use every day. That's the magic of stories. If you had fun with this one, leave a comment and tell us your favorite part, or share a time when you took the wrong path. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got a new story every single day.